The O'Reilly Factor is on tonight.
Fox News had this big base, and they know it's very carefully done. Everything is serving to polarize the country.
Is that true? Does Fox News really polarize the USA? We'll have a special report on President Clinton's analysis. Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching us tonight. Why is America so polarized? That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. Republicans in the House today said they'll demand a one-year delay in the rollout of Obamacare. Democratic-controlled Senate will not go along because this is President Obama's signature achievement. Today, the president spoke in Maryland touting the benefits of Obamacare, which kicks in on January 1st. Mr. Obama believing all will turn out well. Obviously, the issue has polarized Americans. It's no question that at this point, Obamacare seems chaotic. Everybody knows that. This week, the Department of Health and Human Services announced younger Americans will pay substantially more for health insurance under Obamacare. To be fair, uninsured people and some elderly Americans will benefit, but in the end, it will all come down to convenience of care and cost. And that will shake out fairly quickly next year, and then we'll know for sure. Last night, President Clinton shifted the great political divide in America to cable news.
I used to worry that CNN was going to lose too many viewers because...
No fear of that, Mr. President. We are
let me
storming ahead.
I'll be serious. No, yeah, you're doing better, but you're more entertaining now, which is good. And Fox News had this big base, and they know it's very carefully done psychologically and substantively, and everything is serving to polarize the country.
Talking Points does not believe that Fox News, the media, or any other entity is polarizing America. It's the Obama administration driving that. The president was elected to change America. That's what he said he'd do. And he has largely kept that promise. This country is now much different than it was in 2008. The problem is the country's weaker, and the economy is still problematic. Wages for working Americans have actually gone down on President Obama's watch. So it's not the media, Fox News, or anybody else that's creating division. It's politics. There are millions of Americans who still like President Obama, but his job approval rating's falling fast, 43%, the latest CBS News, New York Times poll. Fox News is set up to report that kind of information and analyze why it's happening, and we do. Unlike some other networks, FNC encourages robust debate from all kinds of people. As you may know, there's intense debate right now over how Republicans are handling Obamacare. Some FNC commentators side with Senator Ted Cruz, who wants to just blow it up. Others, like Charles Krauthammer, Britt Hume, Bernie Goldberg, say that allowing Obamacare to fail is the best course of action if you want to roll back the entire nanny state. That debate is healthy, and it's going on right here. A bit later on, we'll talk with Eric Bolling, who was criticized by Bernie Goldberg earlier this week. So summing up, the Obama administration has tried to move the country dramatically left. Many of the president's policies are not working, and that's causing the polarization. Fox News is reporting that, not creating it. And that's the memo. Now for the top story tonight, reaction. Joining us from New Orleans, Democratic strategist James Carville, once a pal and an advisor to President Clinton. Right. So where am I going wrong here, James?
Oh, you and my two favorite bills, huh? Look, do I think that Fox is contributing to polarization in America? Sure. I mean, do they do it every day, every hour, every minute? No. Yeah, Brent Hume on your show, good friend of mine, a good friend of yours, talking about how talk radio is sort of polarized and caused problems for the Republican Party. I mean, this is hardly kind of new stuff. Glenn Beck comes on Fox and says Obama deeply resents white people. People on Fox call people communists and socialists. I think that's polarizing. But, you know, some of it, I can have a wide strike zone on this kind of stuff. To be honest with you, you got to have a discourse in the U.S., and I think people are able to absorb this and sort it all out to some extent.
So you saying your boss is wrong, that we're not the creators of the polarization? No. Well, you should.
No, I didn't say he was wrong.
We here are dominating the cable news industry. Everyone knows that, okay? And the reason is that you're on this program right now debating with me, and that we have all kinds of voices that we put forth here. Whereas MSNBC is just straight down the line, doctrinaire liberal. Very rarely do you hear an opposing voice. CNN doesn't know what it wants to be, but it's still perceived in the country as being a left-wing network. Maybe it's not, but that's what the way the perception is. So that for President Clinton, a very smart guy, all right, to take the heat away from the real polarizers, which is the administration, and put it on us, that's spin. That's spin.
I think it's, you know, I think most people, a lot of people out there would say that Fox is a right-leaning network.
Sure, I know there are people who would say that, but they really don't watch because they can't. If I go down the roster of people, you know, it just doesn't add up.
Look, I think that Fox contributes to polarization, yeah, but a lot of people do. I've contributed to polarization. Again, it's politics. You got to have, you know, and sometimes people do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but I think the president was making a fair point, and I think Fox has every right to defend itself. I appreciate the opportunity to defend my boss on here. But the country, in some of the polarization, you know, look, Obama won the election by almost 4 points. It wasn't even that close of an election.
But right now in the country, yes, you're right. The president won 2 elections. And he should be respected for that. And the people who whine about it, I mean, you know, you want to do something. And that's at the crux of the Obamacare debate among the Republicans. That's where that is. But you can't say to me it isn't the policies of Barack Obama that are causing the polarization. Certainly they are. That's what's driving this. Obamacare looks to be, and I could be wrong, and we'll know this time next year, just an unbelievable disaster for the country. And that's how you're seeing people line up.
Oh, well, first of all, Obamacare came out of the Heritage Foundation. It was a Republican idea.
The president is championing it. He wants it.
Again, it was a Republican idea. It was put in by Mitt Romney in Massachusetts. My sense is we've had the best 4 years we've ever had in terms of keeping health care costs down. We've had the best 4 years of the budget deficit as a percent of GDP. We've got the lowest teen pregnancy rate we've ever had in this country. The crime rate is down significantly. I mean, there's some good things that are happening out there.
Look, for every one of those things, I can tell you something that isn't good, that's and in a much more important area. Median income for working Americans, down. More Americans in the history of the country not looking for work. All right? Wait. Full-time jobs falling. All of the big key factors. Yeah, teen pregnancy is down. Where is that on the scale?
What about the deficit? What about the deficit being down a greater percent of GDP than any time since World War II?
And by the way, I'll tell you why, because taxes are at record levels. That's why.
Can I tell you about the job thing? It started in December 2007. We're trying to dig our way out of a historic...
Are you really going to do that after 5 years?
Well,
after 5 years, you're going to do that?
Look at the research that says how long it takes to come back from a financial crisis.
I'm not buying that for a second. Well, if we had a strong market-driven economy, we would be in a lot better shape right now. Not a top-down federal government running the economy. And look, and this is why we're polarized, because you see the president's policies as being good, and you believe that, and I see them as being harmful to working Americans.
I think that this Affordable Health Care Act is going to go down as one of the most significant and best pieces of legislation in a long time. I see health care costs decline in this country.
The unions don't want it. They don't agree with you.
They don't want one portion of it.
No, they don't want any of it. They don't want the imposition.
Nothing ever satisfies everybody. I look at the health care costs. I look at what's coming in. I'm more optimistic than you, but. That's why we polarize.
It's your job to be optimistic because you're a Democrat and they're in power. You wouldn't be optimistic if it were a Republican pushing it. Okay, look, this time next year we'll know about Obamacare, but the point of the matter is that you believe the media has a little bit more to do with polarization than I do. I think it's all about the policies. That's what I think is going on. James, always good to see you. Thanks for the good debate.
Thank you, sir.